Good morning, everyone. It is blustery today, but it is very warm, and I'm going to try to take advantage of that and walk around in this very nice upland habitat looking for diamondback rattlesnakes. There's a very, very high chance that this will be a complete failure and this will never even make it to YouTube. But if you're seeing this, that means I find something interesting. So we're gonna get after it and walk around in this habitat and hope to see one of these awesome rattlesnakes. So I'm gonna get to it, and I will update you guys when I see something. So I was kind of rummaging through all this bark and detritus at the base of this fallen tree, and found our first snake of the day. And surprisingly, it's a Scarlet King. I really wasn't expecting to see one of these guys today. It's pretty early in the season for them to be up. I was really not expecting that. Look at the belly on this thing. What a beautiful snake. And a great way to start the day if we don't see anything else. This guy doesn't look the best. He's got a little bit of post-hibernation scuff going on, I think. Here is a look at this beautiful Scarlet King snake and its beautiful habitat. These guys are not a terribly difficult snake to find in South Georgia, at least in the coastal plain. Definitely not nearly as difficult as they can be up north, but still, I mean, that is a great way to start the day. And honestly, not a species I've seen too many of in this area. This guy also has a fantastic belly. His bands go completely around on the belly, and they line up perfectly with the ones on top. Really good looking snake. All right, guys, I could sit here and photograph and look at this snake all day, but we're gonna put him back because I really want to see a diamondback, and it feels great out here, and it's nice to know that snakes are out. So let's go return this guy to where we found him. All right, well, we're not getting skunked today, even if we don't see a diamondback. And we have a lot of day ahead of us, so I'm gonna keep at it. There's a nice burrow over here, it looks like, coming up. It's either that or it's just a bunch of sand. Looks like a tortoise burrow turned into a mammal den of some sort. Look at the size of that hole. Well, the first snake of the day was pretty nice, but the second snake of the day is like an upgrade of the first snake of the day. This is a much larger Scarlet King. This guy is probably twice the size of the first one, and a lot healthier too. Doesn't have any blemishes on him, and he's a very good body weight. It's a very good sized Scarlet King. I was not expecting it to be a Scarlet King type of day, but I am definitely not upset about that. I really can't believe that we found two of these snakes already. Look at this guy's belly. These things are so cool. Like I said, I'm not as excited about these guys as I would be if they were in North Georgia, but I mean, my day is made. Two of these guys is nothing to scoff at, especially for this early in the season. Normally, we don't really expect to see these guys until mid-March, at least in the northern half of the state, but still, very awesome. All right, let's let this guy go. Scarlet King snake number 2 for the day, and only the second snake of the day so far. If you would have told me these were going to be the most common snake of the day, I never would have believed you. It's not terribly surprising because they are super active in the early season, but I never actually expect to get lucky enough to find 2 of them in a day while I'm not even really looking for them. I never find these guys on accident. I have to normally like actually go out and try, but I'm just out here stumbling around hoping to find a rattlesnake, and instead I find 2 of these guys. Not bad. But we're gonna get back to the matter at hand, see what else we can turn up. There you go, buddy. All right, everyone. Well, it has been a great day out here, but I haven't seen anything since the second Scarlet King, and those 2 snakes were probably less than 30 minutes apart, and they definitely weren't far apart as the crow flies. But yeah, this habitat is awesome. I've had a blast hiking out here today, even though we didn't turn up our main target. But you will never hear me call a day involving Scarlet Kings anything but a great day. So I'm happy with how it went, and I'm definitely going to have to finish this episode up at some point in the near future, probably during some of the rain that's going to be happening over the next couple days. We'll probably get out and try to find some amphibians, but for now, I'm going to wrap this up, and I will see you guys next time I get out in the field. All right, everyone, it has been a couple of days since you last saw me, and we found a couple of really nice looking Scarlet Kings, but not much else. And today is a very special day because I have a guest with me today, Mike Pingleton of Herp Mapper and his legendary Field Notes journal online. This guy is one of probably the pioneers in online herpetology and sharing your finds on the internet. So it's an honor to be out here with Mike today. We're gonna try to find some herps for him, and he's actually on his way to Florida for the week, so we're gonna get after it and see what we can turn up. All right, guys, so we're gonna start out looking for salamanders and then move towards snake habitat once it warms up a bit more. But here's our first herp of the day. We have 2 spotted dusky salamanders. And we're gonna hope to get a spring salamander here during our little morning salamander excursion. And we haven't been too successful with that so far this year. All right, we got our next 2 finds of the day. Here we have a spring salamander, but it's a larval one. So this is not a full-grown adult. This is I think they have a pretty long larval period. Do you know anything about that?
I don't recall off the top of my head.
I want to say that these guys spend a lot more time in the water than most other larval salamanders, but
yeah, they may overwinter as a larval.
Either way, really cool looking little salamander. And when we put him in the water here, you'll be able to see him do his thing. But they've got a kind of paddle tail, and they're really well adapted for living in these mucky seepages. And then Mike here has a pickerel frog. First one of those of the day. And here's 2 more pickerel frogs. Oh, he's going, but I actually flipped 3 under 1 rock, which is incredibly weird considering in the last episode we saw 5 or 6 under 1 rock. So, all right, well, Mike just flipped our first Cerigera of the day. I had just told him that they're not as common at this site as you'd think they should be. And then he finds one. But this is a little male. You can see he's got his Siri going there. And these guys are probably wrapping up their breeding season now. Well, here's our first snake of the day. That is actually as flipped. I flipped him and he was just upside down like that. So really awesome. Kind of a rare thing to get to see a belly of a ringneck just sitting still like this. Really cool. Well, that is nice. We have our first snake of the day, and this is Mike's first U.S. snake of the year. He lives in the Great White North, where they're not as prone to coming out in the middle of the winter.
Yeah.
But yeah, very nice. Hopefully we'll be seeing plenty more of these today, so we're just gonna get some quick shots and put him back under his tin. All right, guys, here's our next snake of the day. This is a little red-bellied snake, something that we haven't seen as many of as we normally do this time of year, so this is definitely nice to see. And we actually flipped another ringneck too, but he went down a hole before we could get any video of him. But snakes are out, so we're gonna keep hitting it, hoping for a king or a timber today. Well, that is a nice omen, hopefully. It's definitely starting to feel pretty good out here. It got down into the high 30s last night, but the high is forecasted to be in the mid to high 60s, so I think we'll be seeing a couple more snakes today, so we're gonna put this guy back and get back to it. But nice little red-bellied snake. It's our 3rd snake of the day. Yep. Oh, look at the rodent burrows.
Nice.
There's a man right there. All right, guys, here is our next find. Mike just triple flipped a couple of southern redback salamanders. We were just talking about how I haven't seen as many of these as we normally do this winter. And I think that's partially just because I haven't spent as much time in their habitat, but the season of the redback is going to be coming to an end here shortly, and we're not going to see these guys until next winter. Very nice. So yeah, 3 nice redbacks. 2 big ones, and then a smaller. I'm assuming the 2 big ones are females, maybe, but I'm not sure. Really cool.
Yeah, they may be.
All right, guys, well, we just had a nice triple flip. We got a living ringneck here. Actually, it was a quad flip. Living ringneck, a dead ringneck that the last herper dropped the piece of tin on and killed. Great job, whoever did that. And then we've got 2 decay here. The first ones of the day. So somehow these guys managed to avoid the wrath of sloppy herpers who don't know what they're doing and have survived. But first brown snakes of the day and another ringneck. And that is both Steraria for the day. We've got a brown snake, 2 brown snakes, and a red-bellied snake so far. Lots of fossorial stuff up. So now we're gonna kind of switch modes and really start targeting some of the bigger snakes, and hopefully we'll be able to turn up a king. That's the big thing Mike wants to see today, so
Yes.
we're gonna let these guys go and get after it. All right, guys, well, here's our next snake of the day. I just flipped this little smooth earth snake. This is, I think, only our second one this year, and the first one that we've gotten a good look at, because the last one we found was definitely deep in shed and not the best looking. Really good looking smooth earth snake, freshly out of brumation, I'm assuming, and hopefully getting ready to start spring. So really good looking little snake. We're gonna pull him out real quick, put his piece of cover back, and keep hoping for that king snake. There he goes. And here is our next find. That is a huge and very vibrant red-bellied snake. We're gonna get some quick in situ photos and we'll get a better look at him.
Charge that tonight.
Look at just how healthy this snake is. I mean, that is probably one of the bigger red-bellied. It almost looks like it's gravid, but it's the complete wrong time of year for that. That is unbelievable. These are actually some of the first snakes to breed and drop their babies in the summertime, but normally that happens in July, not March. So, and the craziest part about how healthy this snake is that she likely just spent 2 months brumating. That is definitely the highlight of the day so far, I think. What a beauty. But still not a king snake, so we're gonna put this girl back under her tin and get back to the matter at hand. I think we're kind of running out of tin here. We've got a couple more things to flip, and then we're gonna go hike habitat for the rest of the day. So we're just gonna let this girl go back into her stack. You good?
Yep.
All right. Here you go. All right, guys, here's our next find of the day. Mike is currently photographing this guy as we flipped him. This is a northern red salamander. Fairly common, but always appreciated, especially for Mike, who doesn't have them in his backyard. This is a pretty special find. So really awesome salamanders, and something that's probably going to become a little bit more uncommon as we start moving into spring from winter. We'll still see them, but like a lot of the other salamanders, they're not going to be as regular as they are this time of year. So appreciate them while they're around. This guy is a small one. He's not a full-grown adult, and that's why he's a little bit more vibrant than a lot of the ones we see. But really cool salamanders. We're going to get a couple more shots of this guy, and I'm going to leave him right there. Here is a queen snake. We're still kind of far away because we don't want to scare him. We're going to get a better look here in a second, assuming he doesn't jump in the water. So right next to the queen snake, we have a lovely that thing. All right, we're going to get a look at this guy since we didn't touch the last queen snake we found. Look at that doll. I can't get over that. It's got hair on it still. Its hair is full of various detritus. And then there's our queen snake friend. Hello, buddy. Oh, yeah, you're a good one. Come here. Well, that is a very handsome, very healthy queen snake. And this one has a really cool looking belly. There's some really cool greenish colorations in there. Look at that. Really special. This is the first big snake we've seen today, and he's really not that big, but he's pretty big for a queen snake. So hopefully we'll be able to get a rat or a king or maybe even a rattlesnake. But it feels really good out here, so we're gonna keep at it. Next snake of the day, a nice queen snake. So
That's it.
I just flipped this guy. Look at that.
Gorgeous.
So yeah, was not expecting that. I was really hoping we'd get a king today, but I definitely didn't think we were gonna flip one under a rock. That is ridiculous. I do believe this is our first North Georgia king snake of the year. I think the last one we saw was in December, unless I'm crazy. That is awesome. Really yellow bands on this guy. Yellow and black, which is really cool. It's a really good look. High band count as well for this area. And it's actually kind of got chains as well. We don't normally see too much in the way of chains, but it's a young female snake. This might actually end up being her first reproductive year. So we're gonna let her continue her business. And my week is made at this point, so that is fantastic.
Yeah, you do. Woo. Awesome.
Back under the rock with her she goes.
All right, here we go.
There she goes. Under right there.
Zip.
Just like that. All right, guys, here's our next find of the day. This is really interesting and something we don't get to see often at all. These are southern two-line. Oh, I actually see the female down there too. She's in the water. These are southern two-line salamander eggs. They attach them to the underside of rocks in the water like this and guard them. And there she is, guarding her eggs. So we don't want to disturb these guys any more than we have already, so we're just gonna get a quick photo and put this rock down very gently, but really cool. Look at her, being a good mom, tending to her eggs. All right, guys, well, it's been a fantastic day out here, and I'm currently sitting down with Mike getting ready to record for his podcast. And I'm gonna let him plug that here real quick to end this video. What's your podcast called, Mike?
So Much Pingle.
For those who don't already know, So Much Pingle.
So Much Pingle.
And it focuses on all aspects of herpetology.
That's
so
right.
if you want to hear my interview and all the other amazing guests that Mike has had on over the years, check it out. So Much Pingle, wherever you get your
wherever
podcasts.
fine podcasts are sold.
Okay. All right, guys, so I'm going to try to wrap this one up here. We ended up having a pretty fantastic day out here, definitely highlighted by the eastern king snake, but lots of other great things like that giant red-bellied snake and the queen snake as well, and a nice helping of salamander diversity. So absolutely fantastic to get out with Mike, and we're going to record this podcast. So I'm going to wrap this video up here, and I will see you guys in the next episode. So if you were listening to the podcast, which I think everyone should, it'll be linked below, I actually herped in the middle of the podcast. I spotted this guy over here. A green anole. Very nice. That's going to be our last herp of the day, I assume. So, yeah. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Don't forget to check out the So Much Pingle episode. And really the So Much Pingle podcast in general if you haven't already.